11 o'clock, so I say we should go ahead and get started. Let's see. We got a pretty good amount of people in here. So first things first, I'm going to pop up our presentation. There we go. There we are. So welcome those of you who are new to Tech Talk, and for those of you who have been here before, welcome back. This is where we get to have a little bit of fun, maybe a little too much fun sometimes, but we get to talk everything tech. We'll take your questions. You know, if you want to shout something out to us, just hit the speak button, put it in the chat. First thing I did was real quick before we introduce ourselves, I ran a poll for our audience to see what team are you on, Team Android or Team iPhone? And I see my people, iPhone. Okay, so we just changed it. Someone literally just put Android. But iPhone's still in the lead at 60%, Android at 40%.
Darn it!
Very good.
Well, I mean, it's pretty similar to us right now. I know you and me both have iPhones, and then Deb has her
I'm the random out. Yeah, I'm like the random one out.
Someone else just went iPhone. Okay, all right. I'm going to take it down. You guys are messing with me. We got from David. He misses Blackberries. Now that.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Oh, man. I haven't heard that word in a long time. David, I'm with you. I'm with you there. All right. So it looks like our poll is ending 62% iPhone for life, 37% Android for life. Those of you who said iPhone are correct. Good job on that.
Correct. Get out of here, Tyler. Stop being a hater.
All right. So here we go. Let's get started.
Oh, I think he paused. Hold on. Got Eric out of Las Vegas. Whew. There we go, Tyler. You're back.
Can you hear me?
Moving his head before.
All right, perfect. So I am Tyler from ComingSoonHomes.com, and I would like to introduce you to Deborah. Deborah, take it away.
Welcome, everybody. So I am the Sales and Marketing Director at Coming Soon Homes. This is our 5th Tech Talk that we are hosting. We've hit everything from social media to lead gen to helpful tips and tools and tricks to use to implement into your business. But today, I am super excited, not only because I didn't have to do as much for this one, not going to lie, but because Tyler, my dude, is amazing. He has a background in anything and everything video. Riley also does a ton of video for a huge team out of Raleigh, North Carolina, Marty Hampton. So I got 2 heavy video guys, and I like to consider myself a video guru too in some way. So you got 3 video gurus that just all we do all day long is do video, right?
Yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, and how many, Riley, within the past 2 days, I mean, you shot how many videos with agents? A ton, right?
I'm shooting more today, but I did 3 yesterday and then 4 the day before that.
I love it because the agents, and Riley's dealt with agents that some are used to doing video. They rock at it, super comfortable and confident. And then there's some that are newer to video, which is okay too. Everybody starts somewhere. And let me tell you, the first video I personally did, I was really nervous and probably looked at it and watched it and rewinded it and edited it like 50 times before I let that thing go.
And here's an actual secret for people that are new to video. And if you're filming them, tell them that I'll just make you look good at the end, but then I don't do anything. Don't tell them that, but I don't do anything. I mean, I'll do a couple of things here and there, but they'll think, oh, will you make me look better? I go, yeah, I'll Photoshop you.
Yep. I mean, the power of editing, people, I think, really forget because, you know, I know that it's a lot of us when we get on camera, we say and if, and, you know, those funny words sometimes repetitively. That's the power of editing. We can get rid of all that. You talk like you normally do, and we crunch it and edit it the way out. But video is probably the fastest growing online source of media, and it will continue. It's skyrocketed year after year after year. And today's event is going to be all around tools that you can incorporate your business into to make sure that your video just takes a little bit of a step up on production quality. So, and actually, Riley, I don't think we introduced you. Let's introduce you real quick.
There we go.
Well, I mean, we kind of talked about it. You did a little bit. You said I worked with Marty. I am one of the marketing specialists on the Marty Hampton team, but I do help a lot with Coming Soon. Actually, I'm in the office right now, and directly to my left is actually where Tyler sits. But you know, we're doing some social distancing, so we're not together right now, so I miss them.
Be moving them.
But,
So, only temporarily. Only temporarily.
but yes, but mostly I do a little bit of everything too, as far as tech. And that's actually how this tech talk came about, was because everybody was coming into our office and asking me and Tyler questions about, tech or video. And so we're just like, well, why don't we just make a webinar so we can just answer all the questions instead of people coming in and asking us.
Yeah, it was like my second month on the job, and I accosted Deb in the office kitchen. I was like, so I know I'm new, but I have an idea. And I pitched the idea for Tech Talk, and she was like, all right, let's do it next week. And I'm like,
be careful what you ask for. Like, I'm going to make it happen.
That happened pretty quick. But
it's awesome too, because I mean, just like Riley and Tyler said, we had from a local level agents in the Raleigh area asking tons of questions, but these questions and answers, apologies for the dog, power of working from home. But it's incredible because the information and the questions that we get, we can share with agents across the country into Canada. This can help everybody's business. So let's go ahead and dive the heck in.
All right. So before we get started, I just want to tell everyone that Riley and Deborah have not seen this presentation yet.
Oh, no!
Everything.
I knew you were going to surprise us.
So it's not going to be too crazy, but I do like to have a little bit of fun. So while I do love the blue and orange and yellow color palette of our normal presentations, I did want to style this a little more like my liking. So welcome everyone to Tech Talk 5. So we are going to get started. Like everyone said, we are talking tools. We are talking video mostly. So let us get started. So I am Tyler. I will be your host for today. And we are going to be talking about my favorite thing in the world, my wife. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding about that. She is my favorite thing in the world, but we are talking about video. I love making and editing and filming videos. And I'm sure you're probably wondering, what is this punk 3-year-old looking kid on the webcam doing, talking to me about video? Well, I'm going to tell you why I'm qualified to talk. Well, why I think I'm qualified to talk about it. These two pictures are pictures I took in college. On the left there is, you'll see the studio that I worked in for about a year. And on the right is the production suite for that studio. So I've had a lot of experience shooting studio, in addition to live on location shooting. That's me shooting my senior documentary in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. If you want a copy of that, you'll have to pry it from my cold dead keyboard, because anyone see. I'm kidding. If you want to see it and submit to Sundance Film Festival, just email me at tyler@comingsoonhomes.com. I will get you a copy of that, no problem.
Speaking of looking 3, look at that picture on the left there.
No kidding.
It's legit. And all the equipment that you see there, I have with me right here. So if you want any of it autographed, again, tyler@comingsoonhomes.com. So why am I actually qualified to talk about video? That's a good question. It's because I've won awards. Look at that. That's 2 awards that I've won from my things. And you can ask Deborah and Riley. I don't have this big of a head in person. It's just online. So
it's this camera that makes it look bigger.
Exactly. Moving on from that. Okay, why am I actually qualified to talk about video? The same reason that Riley and Deb are. It's my and their jobs. This is literally what we do every single day. I wake up, I go to the office, whether it be at the actual office or about 25 feet from my bedroom door, and we come in and we edit videos. It is something that I love doing. It is something that I'm sure Deb is sick of me telling her how much I love doing. I really, really do like it. It is my job. It is also a hobby of mine. I do a lot of stuff freelance as well. Tyler@comingsoonhomes.com. So first things first, we're going to watch a video together. And we're going to watch 2 videos. We're just going to watch like the first 15 to 30 seconds of these videos. And I want to show you just a quick example of some of the work that we do here at Coming Soon Home. So this first one is just a standard property video for a property out of Tampa, Florida. And let's go ahead and play this for you guys. Good, right? Good video. It's a good video. Nothing wrong with that video. I love videos like that. They're simple. They tell you what is in the home. Riley, how many videos like that do you think you make per month?
Per month?
Yeah.
I mean, we try to get at least one a day out at least. So 30.
Yeah, at least. God. Yeah.
On heavier months, I know I do, and I know we all do, maybe upwards of like 50 to 60 if
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
The
So-
nice thing, I mean, and the nice thing is in that video is it was pictures, but you made it. For the beginning there wasn't, but you don't need to actually take a camera out to have a nice video. You can just do it with pictures, depending on how you edit it.
That's true. That is very true. And that is a lot of what we do is with pictures. But I would implore you to look at this video and tell me in comparison what you think about this.
Hi everyone, Maria Hoffman here with Tampa Home Group, here today to share a private tour with you of one of our exclusive listings here at 32873 Estate Garden Drive in the gated gardens of Watergrass here in up-and-coming Wesley Chapel. It's a super popular location, booming and growing, and can't wait for you to see this home. So come on in, let's take a look. This amazing custom-built Bakerfield home is just under 4,800 square feet with 5 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, and everything on your wish list and more, including an office, bonus space, and 2 laundry rooms. So come on in and let's check it out. Check out this.
I think
Just
I saw
a
that
little-
last night on HGTV, actually.
Just a little bit better, right?
Love that. Love that.
So you can see, like you said, it's like something on HGTV, the difference that just a little bit of video can make to something like that. So let's go straight into it and talk about how something like that is going to be made. So let's talk the tools of the trade with Coming Soon Homes and Tyler and Deb and Riley. So let's jump right into it. This is my secret weapon, my most used tool for almost everything that I do. And the reason why I put that poll at the beginning, the iPhone 11 Pro. Now, you don't have to have the 11 Pro, but I would highly suggest getting one because as far as video capability, that is pretty much unmatched on any other phone on the market. And if we were, 4 or 5 years ago, you'd be like, come on, can you really get video that good on a phone? Like, yeah, you can. This thing, I think it was 2 or 3 months ago, Lady Gaga came out with a new video,
I knew it.
all shot on iPhone.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
If you have been watching Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert or any of the late night people, this is what they have been shooting their shows on, is the iPhone 11 Pro.
Isn't that amazing?
So when I say when it says Pro, it means it. It is a professional piece of equipment that, yes, it can make phone calls and play Candy Crush. Do people still play Candy Crush? And whatever those games are, but it is a true, really good content tool. And the amount of things that you can do with it is outstanding. I know, Deb, you have an Android phone. I believe you have the Galaxy Note 10 Plus,
Yep.
which is, a fine phone. And no, I'm just messing. It's actually a really good phone. The one thing that we're going to talk about a little bit later with Samsung phones is that they can shoot 8K video now on their new Galaxy S20 line, which is both a good and bad thing, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So you can just, boot up your iPhone 11, go right here into the viewfinder and start taking a video, right? You can go straight in there, take it, no problem. There is an app, though, that I would recommend to take it to the next level, and that's Filmic Pro. Now, this is something that that video that you saw with Maria in Tampa, this is something similar to what she would use. It looks like this. This basically gives you a fully featured cinema camera in your iPhone. It is a little on the expensive side for an app. I think it's like $15 or something, but you can control so many variables of your filming experience with that app on your phone. So, Riley, what do you use most to shoot videos of agents, or like if you're out somewhere? What's your number one?
Yeah, I use my iPhone usually because it's hard to call a bunch of equipment with you when you can just use your phone. And this is good. I mean, obviously, if you really want a nice shot, we'll use your DSLR. But absolutely, I just use my phone. And another nice thing is actually behind me here. I'll just grab it. We use a teleprompter, and on here, actually, I just slide in an iPad, and it will just read whatever I need the agent to say, and then I just plop my phone right in here, and then it just looks like they're looking right at the camera and talking.
And that's perfect for those of you that do scripts, or maybe you're newer to video and you're uncomfortable, making sure you say the right thing on camera. Having a teleprompter set up can be extremely helpful. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, there's even apps out there that kind of have a teleprompter system that you upload your script to it, you read off of it, but it really helps you like sound and feel more polished too when you are working off of a script. But obviously that should only be done sometimes. People love the real. And I think that's one of the best things about when you shoot with your phone. It makes it feel like it's human versus so over the top edited, so overly constructed. So having a nice balance of, I think, both very fine cut, professional edited, and then the real.
In the app that we use for that, I use Parrot, and that's my teleprompter app. And then you also get a nice little device like this that you can actually, so if you're shooting video just by yourself, you can actually just bring this with, and you actually use this, and you can just set up and read from your teleprompter just from that without even needing anybody there.
And then Mark, I do see your question. I will get to that in 1 second. I did want to say first, let me pull this up on here. All of this app that I'm talking about, this Filmic Pro, this can work on both the regular iPhone and the iPhone 11 Pro. But well, actually, let me just get to your question first. So this is what makes the Pro a Pro, are these 3 cameras. I don't know exactly the order, so I'm just going to point and just imagine that I'm saying the right thing. You have a telephoto lens, which gives you a really nice zoom, a standard lens, and then an ultra wide. So like if you're really close to your subject, but you want to get like a big view, like if you're shooting like one person in a house and you have a really big room, but your agent's there, you can use that ultra wide to capture a little bit more of it. On the regular iPhone 11, all it has is a regular and ultra wide lens. You miss out on the telephoto. Aside from that, when it comes to video, that's the only difference on the 11 and the 11 Pro.
And that ultra wide, I'm telling you, is a game changer. Don't be a hater, my Samsung 10, it even has that wide view. I mean, it's amazing how you can expand the view of what you're trying to showcase just a little bit more, and it looks really, really clean too. So highly recommend. Get in there and use your cameras though. Even if you don't have this new iPhone or whatever, just go in and see what your current phone. A lot of these phones have all kinds of crazy settings and features and things already installed in it, but you got to play with it. You got to get to know it. You got to use it to get really familiar with it.
And Deb, I'm glad you mentioned that, because even though I use the iPhone 11 Pro as an example, just because it's my phone, and for all intents and purposes for video, it's one of the best phones out there. But I also have this. This is an iPhone SE from 2016. This phone can shoot 4K video on it. And I literally bought this on Black Friday for $59, so I could have an extra little video phone. You can, seriously, if you have a phone from the past 3 to 4 years, there's a good chance you're going to be able to shoot up to 4K video on those things. You don't have to go out and spend, $1,000 split up over 2 years on your contract to get something like that. Chances are you probably already have a phone that can do really, really, really good quality video.
And another nice thing that he does with that other phone, if he's just shooting with his iPhone 11 Pro, he actually uses that as a microphone to use too. So we'll connect some mics to that, and that's how we actually get better quality sound. Instead of using both for audio and video, it's actually easier to use just a second phone, because then they can just, your subject can actually just have that phone in their pocket connected to the mic.
That's literally what I do. Is before I got some lapel mics, I would just take this microphone side up and put it right here and just have the audio recording right there. And then,
sorry to interrupt you. I think a lot of people hyper focus on the video portion of it, getting the best quality video, the best editing, all of that. However, there's a second piece of this that I think a majority of people probably don't think about. And honestly, I've learned a ton from Tyler and his production experience, because audio is just as important as video. If you're trying to make a very high quality, powerful piece of content, you got to have both, and you got to have the tools to make sure that you can capture both ends of that correctly.
Oh yeah, and I see Sven just asked, what was the brand of teleprompter that you use, and what's the name of the other tool you are using?
So we have a couple. We use a couple of them. One that is really as nice as it's called Padcaster, and if you use an iPad, you can actually set that up on you can put this onto your iPad, and then it just slides over the camera, and then you just put your phone inside of it. Let me do that quick.
And most of the time we use this little thing for that.
Do you guys remember how much that cost, that Padcaster?
We'll say like $400 for like the kit that had like everything in it.
I think the kit is closer to 1,000, and that little teleprompter that you have right there is about 100.
So
we obviously will link this at the end for everybody for our tools, so you can actually see them. But yeah, you just set this up on your iPad, and then this little screen right here, it reflects up, and then you just read it, and then your iPad camera actually goes behind this, and it just looks like you're looking right at the camera.
Mm-hmm. And then one other one, this is one that what we saw earlier from Maria Hoffman in Tampa. This is what she used it. I'm gonna put it in the chat. It's called Big View, and it is a teleprompter app for your iPhone. It'll display your text right here and record you with the front-facing camera. So that's definitely something that I would recommend if you don't either have the money or want to spend the money on a huge setup. That is a really easy way to do it. Again, it's all about the apps. Filmic Pro, Big View. Like I said, you have a whole production suite right here. Really, honestly, I think you guys will both agree. This is for most people, this is all you need.
Yeah.
And also, I think another piece of the equation of video that I think a lot of people don't think about is once you've captured the video footage and the audio that you want, getting it from those devices somewhere online where you can then edit, clip, and maintain the footage, that is a completely other piece of the headache that I think people need to consider. And, working, and correct me if I'm wrong, but, a DSLR, one of those high, finite, nice cameras, I think it's a little harder to get footage off of those even than like a phone where you can just Dropbox it, cloud it right into the cloud and have access immediately to the file.
Yeah. And we'll get there a little bit later about how to transfer things, but you're right. For the most part, like if you have an iPhone, once you shoot a video on here, it's in your Apple Photos and you can view it in any web browser, anything in the world. So they make it very simple.
I think Android does have, or like Google or Samsung, they have a cloud for their photos too. So if you're one of the people that doesn't have an iPhone, they have a cloud themselves.
They do. They absolutely do. You hear that, Deb? You're not totally out of the club there. Is this from Mark? Is the speed on Padcaster and Parrot based on your talking speed? It is not.
Let me grab my iPad with the app on it, and I can actually show you.
Even better. Show and tell. There we go. Let's see. From Gene, what are the names of tools you are talking about? What kind of tools do you mean specifically?
So far, we've talked about the Padcaster, and everybody who's on today, at the end of the session, we're going to send everybody access to a document where we've fine-lined every single tool we've talked about, backlinked everything, so you can just click around and get access to the tools. Honestly, a lot of this stuff you can find on Amazon. Yep. And if you're a Prime member, you get that delivered for free. So I think a lot of the stuff we've even ordered for our own use has been off of Amazon. So a lot of these things, you can do that on there. But we will share a document with you to get you access to all those links. So don't worry about that.
Okay, so and this is the Parrot app again that we were talking about a little bit earlier. And this is actually, I could probably put it on mirror mode so you can actually see. It might even be reversed. Anyways, this is what we use, and you can change the speed. There we go. You can change the speed, and then it just scrolls. It almost looks like the beginning of a Star Wars movie. And pull this up. So right here, you'll actually be able to change Let me see if it can focus. My camera can't really focus on that, I guess. Let me pull it back, maybe. And no, I can't. So, but on the settings, you can change the text size. So if you have somebody that's harder of vision, and then also you can actually make it go faster. You can make it go slower. You can change the text size. I just did that, but it all sets up. There's two different ways to do it. There's one with the iPad and let me grab this big guy right here. I hook up the iPad on this, put that on there, and then it just displays it there. And then behind it, you can actually set up with a nice camera like a DSLR, or you can still use your iPhone. So if you're doing a really high quality shot, I would recommend one of these. Almost looks like a news team somewhere.
Hey, Tyler.
Yeah.
So I did just find the Padcaster on Amazon. I just dropped it in the chat for everybody who's interested in that. However, it's the teleprompter kit. So you would need to buy the teleprompter on top of the kit, right?
Let's see. This one that you linked to. Yeah, this is just that little teleprompter kit that Riley held up earlier.
Okay.
This will work with like a smaller camera. It has like little adapters, but as far as the whole Padcaster kit, oh man, some of them can be like really, really expensive. I know the ones for like the iPad Pro, I think they start at about $750 for those and go up from there for the Padcasters. But you get a lot.
You get a
lot with that.
And just consider too, this is an investment in your business. This is an investment in your future. I know a lot of agents, takes like baby steps with video. First, they'll go out, get a nice, iPhone, a nice phone, something that they feel more comfortable recording more consistently on. And then once they get comfortable with that, they're doing editing and using those videos and sharing them and posting them, then maybe work on upgrading some of your tools and devices. So keep in mind, we're going to share a list with you of all these things, and you can just slowly start buying them as you have time and the funds, etc. So don't feel like you need to go all in and spend, $2,000 on tech and tools. That's not the case at all.
Oh yeah. So let's real quick. Let's see. Parrot is used for what? Parrot is that teleprompter app that Riley was showing earlier, where it shows you the text and you can record as you are reading that. That right there. Yep. All right, let's move on to the next tool, something I know all three of us have at our disposal, the DJI Osmo Mobile. Here we go. So here is mine.
I'm down. There we go. Woo.
Yeah, the Osmo Mobile 2 right here. Deb has the 3, and Riley has some version of it that it's archaic, so I have no idea what it is.
It's actually dead right now. I don't even have a charger.
So for those of you out there who are watching this video and being like, what in God's name is this? Rather than explain it, I have a video that I shot to show you exactly what it is. There's no audio on this video. It's just the video itself. And I also forgot to put it in the presentation, so I'm going to find that real quick. Thankfully, it's on my personal YouTube channel, so if you want to go check that out, please do, because there's some fun stuff on there.
And not to jump too far ahead either, but if there is one tool other than a couple of the foundational products we're going to end with, but there is one tool that I think just about any agent can go out there and afford today, it's probably this.
Oh, yeah.
I have one of the newer versions. I'm telling you guys, there are people on Facebook Marketplace, on Craigslist that are also trying to sell these as well. So even if you don't have the funds for a brand new one, go find you a used one. This is going to be a game changer tool for just about every single video that you shoot. If you're doing walking videos where you're moving, you want those nice panning movement shots of properties and listings, this is going to be the tool you need to check out.
Mm-hmm. And then just kind of, go ahead, Riley.
Well, mine, and the one that I have is also a little bit older, but it actually has the camera built into it, so you don't need to use your phone. And the nice thing about this one is you can actually control this camera from your phone. So if you were presenting somewhere else, you can actually move the camera, and this will just rotate around, and you don't have to be on it. So if you were up presenting or something, you can actually film. I've actually used this before when Marty was at when she was presenting. I used this one, and I was able just to still sit down, run the projector, but then I also was able to pan the camera around on everybody.
And it's funny too, this has nothing to do with real estate, so I apologize for the digression, but you know, my boyfriend was going to jump on his ATV the other day. He's like, oh, well, do you want to come out to the forest with me and come record and shoot all the footage and stuff? And I'm like, I don't have time. But what you could do is take a tool like this and put that setting on, and it'll auto follow that movement. So if you're one of those people and you're not comfortable maybe recording around a whole lot of people, jump in your office, turn that setting on, and you can walk and talk, and that thing will follow you without having anybody actually behind it.
All right, so I'm going to shrink us a little bit here to show you this video. So before I play this, just so everyone knows, the video that we saw earlier of Maria in Tampa walking through the house was shot with one of these. It's called aside from DJI Osmo Mobile, that's the brand name for this particular one, you can either find this in stores as a gimbal or a stabilizer. The reason it's called that is because you can achieve both those smooth shots like Maria did and also things like this. So this was shot in Durham, North Carolina at the Streets of South Point Mall pre-COVID. I just want to say this was shot last year. And this is something called a hyperlapse. So as you're walking, it's basically taking a picture every couple seconds and then editing it into one smooth video at the end. I will play that through one more time because that went a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. Wow. But did you guys both see that?
Ice cream place.
There we go. So one cool thing that I've seen some agents do is the neighborhood that a home is being sold in, they will take a hyperlapse like this and walk through the neighborhood and use it at either the beginning or the end of the video. So that way you're not just droning around, walking through, showing something. It's a fast-paced, fast-motion example. So I'm going to turn mine on real quick. I have my phone anchored in here. If I turn it on, you'll watch it flips up. So now you can see no matter where my hand is moving, see that phone is staying perfectly still. And that's the way that these things work. No matter where you're pointing it, it's going to stay still, so you're not shaky and moving everywhere.
And then Julie asked if you could slow it down to focus on a high point. Yeah, absolutely. What he was just doing was just a nice little hyperlapse. So if you wanted, I mean, that's all in your editing. So when you go into, if you have a shot, it's actually kind of cool if you do that, because then you do the speed up, and then it slows down to right where you want everybody to see, and that actually can help you focus on your high point.
And then, oh, Deb, I think you're
So Rick had said, how do you hyperlapse? That's an actual setting on the phone, right?
It's a one-button setting that you click, and it enables hyperlapse. Again, with DJI, the way I did that one is when you buy the gimbal, you get access to an app through either the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Last time I checked, it was called just DJI Mobile, but it has a whole camera suite in there where you can choose to do hyperlapse, time-lapse, your video resolution, and all that good stuff. So a lot of the things that we're going to show you, especially on this level, are really just like point and click or point and shoot. It's very, very simple. And Deb, how much was your Mobile 3 when you got yours?
Honestly, I think it was honestly under $200. I want to say about $150. And I just shared the link to the Osmo on Amazon, and right now it's on there for $119. So I would snatch that up in a heartbeat. But just to show you real quick, ignore all my other apps. There's nothing inappropriate, I promise. There is a DJI Osmo, which is what he was talking about. So this is the app that once you purchase the Osmo product, it's going to give you instructions to download this app. It works on iPhone and smartphone and Samsung and all that good stuff. But once you click the app, it's going to give you a whole bunch of stuff. Let me see, make sure you can see it. Allow. And it takes a minute to load. But this is going to give you access to even check out other people's stuff. So it's like a channel feed. So you can check out what other people are recording. But when you're ready to record, you literally come in here. You can actually go in the app and edit prior footage. So if you had already shot footage, you can go straight in that app and do some other customization things in there. But just like Tyler said, you could use the app for that hyperlapse, or you could use, your typical camera phone, which a lot of those have hyperlapse pre-installed on them.
Eric just said that the Osmo Mobile 3 was on sale for $89 last week, and I am very upset that I didn't buy one.
Oh my gosh!
Gimbal for $79. Cool.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
Even
enough.
better then. Even better. You
I know.
guys, honestly, I didn't price shop. I just looked it up on Amazon.
Yeah. The last thing I need is to buy more stuff because I'm telling you, I love spending money. Everyone likes spending money, right? This is fun. This stuff is fun. I mean, who doesn't
This
like
is
doing it?
literally, this is one of the best investments me personally I've ever made for my own business
Yep.
for video. It has been a game changer. And honestly, it makes you more comfortable because I'm sure you guys have seen videos where people are recording and it's like this. It's like shaking the whole time, you know, and it gives you a headache while you're watching it. So this is going to help stabilize that to a whole another level.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much anything I do, just general rule of thumb, I'll let you in on one of my secrets. I mean, it's not really a secret, whatever. I'm going to let you in on a technique that I use. If I'm filming something, I pretty much would never be caught dead without either a tripod, which we'll get to later, or a stabilizer. You just, even if you think you have like the best, most stable hands in the world, you still might get some camera shake. So I always recommend stabilizing your shots as much as you can. That's probably my film classes coming out in me, but I'm sorry. It's the way it is. It'll make your stuff look good.
Hey, Tyler, quick question. So
Oh, yeah.
Lisa Harris said, I still have the Osmo 2. What's the difference in the Osmo 3?
Ooh, Lisa, I have the Osmo 2 as well. This guy right here. The 3, pretty much from using Debs briefly, the only difference that I have seen is that it comes with a little trigger right here that lets you enable something called sport mode. And all that does is just make your camera moves a little more immediate. Instead of like a glide between shots, it's very, it's still stabilized, but it's very quick. It just lets you, like, if your kid's playing soccer or if you're in a house where you want to do some quick moves back and forth, holding that trigger just lets you do that. And it's a little more, I don't know what the word is, not jumpy because it looks really good. It's just a little more quick. It's not going to be a gradual pan. It's going to be a very quick move over to the left or right.
And
Aside from that, that's pretty much it.
And I really don't think you need that, especially if you're just shooting
Yeah.
most of the time. You're just doing a nice pan of wherever you're walking through either.
I would say if you
Right, the 3 folds as well.
and if you already have an Osmo like this, just like even if it's a year, 2 or 3 old, I would keep that. I would work with that. Again, there's not a whole lot of changes. If you feel like you need to upgrade, if you're getting that itch, upgrade your phone. That is well worth your time and money. And Eric actually said the Osmo Pocket is a game changer. I haven't played with that, but I've wanted to play with that for a while. And the mobile 3 folds, and it now gives you access to your Lightning port. That's awesome. So do either of the Osmo versus gimbal? That might be what you're about to ask.
Well, the Osmo is a gimbal. That's just the generic name for what it is.
But the Osmo brand, I feel like they're very good at what they do. They also have, I think they started as a drone company, so they have a lot of really good video products, and I recommend DJI to just about anybody.
And for those of you that like robotic stuff, they actually just had one of the coolest robots I've ever seen that you can literally operate like a toy almost, and it rolls around. So if you're doing way more hyper focused stuff, I mean, their product line is amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then Eric brought up another thing that I also really want to buy. It's called the Osmo Pocket, and just real quick, what that is, it's basically this, but it's shrunk down to about this big, and it has a 4K camera built into it, so you don't even have to use a phone with it. Last time I checked, I think it was $399 MSRP. Not 100% sure, but I'm sure you could find it on sale at some point. But it's basically one of these, but smaller and with a built-in camera. And I think Deb just put it in the chat right there.
$369 for the Osmo Pocket.
Shave a little money off. So I mean, that basically covers gimbals. They are, wait, hold on a minute. Eric just ordered a Mavic Air 2 from DJI. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And then Brent asked how you configure the gimbal to use a separate remote from the phone videoing. It depends.
That was this that I was talking about.
Yeah, I know, like the Osmo Pocket, you can use the phone app and record through it. It just depends on what brand and what app they use. And Eric, you're making me upset because you saved a lot of money. We're going to move on to the next thing.
I'm going to text Eric. I'm going to give him my phone number. He finds out.
Yeah, send us the deal.
Eric's on a roll here. If you want to send me that drone, I'll review it on my YouTube channel. It's tyler@comingsoonhomes.com. Just fly it over to Raleigh. I'm sure it'll make it. All right, moving on to the next thing. While I love talking about the cheaper things They're very fun. They're very, very low barrier to entry on this kind of stuff. Me being the way that I am, I like to talk about pro level. So some of this might go over your heads. I'm not trying to be condescending there. I'm just saying some of it is kind of technical, but bear with me. I will try and explain it in a reasonable way. One word that you probably heard us throwing around earlier is a DSLR camera, and that's kind of the basis of where I want to start with this. So the first thing that a lot of people are going to ask, and the first thing that I get a lot is, are pro tools expensive? Complicated answer. Yes and no. It depends on what kind of pro level you're looking at. There are like full-on professional cameras, and there's things, this is the worst name ever, but I swear this is the actual name of it. They're called prosumer, professional consumer electronics. I don't know how they came up with that. I hate it, but that's the name of it. Yes, Kurt, we are going to talk about mics. So we're going to try and stay in that prosumer level. But again, the basis of what they're talking about are DSLR cameras. So no, it doesn't have to be expensive. Let's get into why it's not expensive.
Especially if you're Eric. Jeez.
Yeah, right? Just call Eric. He's got all the deals. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the Canon T7 or T7i. So I have in my hands here my baby. It's not the T7. I'm just going to tell you now, I haven't upgraded to the T7 yet. This is the T6i, I mean. But this is a DSLR camera. So yes, first and foremost, it does shoot amazing pictures. Absolutely fantastic. But it is really good at shooting video. I've also had a lot of people ask, what's better, Canon or Nikon? Again, it really just depends on what you're using it for. I think that Canon gives you a little bit better video options, whereas Nikon gives you a little bit better picture options. But I haven't looked at buying one in a few years, so that may have all changed. So take that with a grain of salt. So quick tour on what a DSLR camera is. It's just a big old camera. You have a full-size lens. It is a zoom lens here. You have a focus ring right here that lets you make things blurry or not blurry. And then the coolest thing about the Canon T7 and T7i series is that they have a viewfinder in the back that flips out and flips this way. So like this way, if I turn my camera on, you'll see there's a viewfinder there. I think this will show the right way on video. I'm going to turn this off real quick so everyone can see this. If I take it and I click it out this way, I can rotate the camera and then I can film myself while seeing what I'm doing. So again, this is a good way if you have a tripod in front of you and you need to film something, to film it like that and you can see what's going on. Just make sure you're not looking at the screen and you're looking here the whole time. If I had a nickel. So the cool things about Canon cameras, you have a lot more in the way of choosing how your video is going to look than you do on an iPhone or on a Android phone. And then the cool thing about them is you have interchangeable lenses. So remember on the iPhone 11 Pro how we were talking about the 3 different cameras on the back? One of them's a regular, a wide angle, and a telephoto. That comes from DSLRs. Regular lens, telephoto lens. I don't know the best way to see that. You can see how much bigger the telephoto lens is than that one. And when you zoom in, it gets even bigger on there. So you do have a lot more options as far as how far you can zoom in on things, as far as being able to change out your lens. The downside to that is lenses are expensive. So what I would recommend, and I think what I put on the sheet for you guys at the end, is a camera kit. Let me put this slide back up here. The one that I've used in this picture is basically the same thing that I bought when I got my Canon T6i, and it comes with the camera body here, comes with the smaller lens and the larger lens. And there's a bunch of technical details about like the focal length and everything, but all you need to know is regular lens, zoom lens, things are far away. That's the easiest way to describe it. The cool thing about these cameras, let me go to the next slide here, is that you can use accessories with them. Everyone loves a good accessory. I don't leave home without my tripod. If I'm going to Target to go shopping, I still bring my tripod with me. That's not true. I'm not that weird. But this is the tripod that I have, and everyone has a tripod. We got the tripod party going on, the tri party, if you will. But tripods can be very finicky. You can get them as cheap as like $15 or as expensive as, I don't even want to tell you, hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
You really don't need a hundreds of dollar tripod. I mean, if you're doing like a professional video, cinematic feature or you're shooting at a $2 million home, knock yourself out. If you're doing anything else, get like a mid-range one. I think this one cost me about $60 for this one, and it's lasted me about 4 years. And I love it. It's awesome. But the cool thing, going back, remember our DJI Osmo? They have a port on the bottom to where you can use it on your tripod. So you can just screw it on right there and film yourself. But tripods are really good. It is the #1 accessory for a DSLR camera or for any professional level camera equipment, because you don't want to be just sitting there shaking around your camera trying to get footage of something. Stabilize your footage, people. It will look a whole lot better.
And for those of you that don't have the budget right now to allocate towards a nice, Canon DSLR, which a lot of you probably don't have that right now, especially during this crisis. So there's smart things that you can do. Just like he said, at least start with a tripod. Go on Amazon, find a nice tripod. I found I think I got this one on Amazon for, I think like $20. And it's not the best one. And I actually went back out to Best Buy and bought a little bit more of a rigorous one for outdoor use. But honestly, one of my go-tos is a tiny little guy. I mean, this thing, you just prop up, you stick it on your desk. Anybody that knows me, I shoot a ton of video. So this is easy for me personally. When I don't have time to round up the gang and say, oh, let's come shoot this big thing, I just pop my phone right in this guy, put it on my desk, and record myself. I mean, it makes it's as simple as possible. So this you could probably find on Amazon for like $10, if that.
Yeah, they are a very good deal for those little desktop tripods, and you can find desktop ones for DSLR cameras, you can find them for phones, you can find them for tablets and everything in between. Real quick, Sharon asks, what about wide angle? Is that not better for house photos? It is very good for house photos. That is very true. Like we said on the 11 Pro, it includes that wide angle camera. On something like a DSLR, many of them come standard with a zoom lens, but you do always have the option of buying a wide angle lens for these. So it's pretty cool. All right, we're going to move on to this one. So, shotgun microphone. I happen to have that exact microphone there. I'm going to deconstruct mine so you can see it how it is in the photo. So, here is the actual microphone itself. It's this little guy right here. This is the Rode Video Micro. Again, I got this about 4 years ago when I got my my camera kit. But this little guy right here is going to set you back about $100. And that might seem kind of crazy, but it's a good value, and I'll show you why. It comes with this little mount right here. I'm just going to build this real quick so you can see exactly how this is going to work. So you snap this. It's really hard to do. You snap this in here. And then normally you can just go straight with this and plug it into your camera, but it does come with this. The professional name for this is a windsock. The non-professional name for it is a dead cat. I'm not joking. That's the actual name that people use for this thing. Basic rule of thumb.
I said, don't tell Caitlin that.
If you're in a home, use this. If you're outside and it's windy, put this onto it. There you go. It just cuts down on wind noise. That's all. All right. Real quick, real fast little show and tell. One of the reasons that I use a DSLR camera is you have the option of external audio. You can buy microphones. And who was that asked about this earlier? Kurt. So this whole section is for you, Kurt. You can buy microphones that plug into your iPhone with the little lightning connector right there. Rick, can that mic be used on an iPhone? Yes, it can. Most modern phones do not have headphone jacks, so you will need an adapter, which is totally fine. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to show you how to connect it to a DSLR because I don't have my adapter with me. But on the back, you have a little headphone jack, and it comes with this little red cable. Plug that in there. And then on DSLR cameras, a lot of people see this on the top. That's called a shoe right there. And this has a little connector. You just slide that in, tighten that up. And then on Canon cameras, this will vary per camera manufacturer model. They have a little slot on the side there. You'll just pop open this little rubber gasket and plug it in. And then just like that, you are now using a camera to record external audio. The cameras, the microphones on the camera themselves is fine. It's adequate, but this is really good if you're like filming an agent at a house and they're right in front of you. This will take that audio and capture them directly. It's directional audio, so this will record everything right in front of it. Again, about $100 for this. This camera, I don't think I mentioned the price earlier. I've seen it as cheap in the kit as $499. So the whole thing's going to set you back about $500 to $600, but you will see a huge increase in your video quality, your creative ability, and your audio. So again, expensive, yes, but not crazy expensive. Not a hugely insane, crazy barrier to entry.
And I mean, another cheap option for that is these lav mics. Would we get these for like $10?
Yeah.
And they will hook up to your iPhone or whatever you do just with a lightning cable attachment. And it's also really nice for shooting multiple subjects. So like what he was talking about was for straight on. But with these lav mics, I mean, you see them on the news all the time when they just clip them on right here. And that's really nice for shooting multiple subjects. You can actually have, well, I shoot two at once and then just have a splitter, and then everybody, you can hear both talking nice. Especially because the room that we used to film in, there's a lot of outside noise. We haven't completely soundproofed yet, and it's really, and you don't really hear the outside noise. You just hear the subjects' voices.
And Tyler, what kind of mic did you use when we were shooting offsite in that restaurant? I mean, tons of people around us. We needed that audio to be paramount because it was a podcast. Right. What mic did you use for that?
Well, in order to answer that question, I'll give you another insight into how I film things. I generally try and capture a primary audio source and then a secondary just in case there's a problem. Riley is holding my secondary audio source there. That is a Yeti Blue microphone. That's going to set you back about $150 to $200, depending if it's on sale or not. That plugs straight into a computer. It's a microphone. That's what it does. While we were there, I used those lav mics. Lav is short for lavalier. You might also know it as the lapel mic. But that's what I used to capture audio when we were doing that. And lapel mics are really good for focusing the audio right here. So they're really only good for speech. They're not good for capturing, like, a room. That you would want to use something like this. This actually came with the Padcaster. If you get one, this is just another form of this little fuzzy microphone here. This is the micro version. This is the full size version. Again, it comes with the little windsock there that you can put on. So indoor shooting, outdoor shooting.
And
so,
Sharon's asking a question: Is the lav mic the brand for the iPhone, or will that work any device?
So anything will work with your iPhone. You just need to have the lightning cable attachment. So just as long as it uses my webcam's all the way up here. Just as long as it has that and a little connector to it. Mm-hmm. So you just plug it into one of these, and then your mic will plug into one of these.
Yeah. So to kind of go back on the accessories so the base camera, it can be expensive, but it's not really. Can the accessories be expensive? No, but with an asterisk. You can spend a lot of money on accessories. I spend a lot of money on accessories. So the big takeaway there is just be careful because it's a very slippery slope. Because you go, oh, a video micro is $100. I'll get that. And you go, oh, I do need a tripod. Oh, well, I do need a lavalier mic. So just be warned. It can get expensive. So, and Deb, your mic is muted, I believe.
Oh, man. What I was saying though behind the mic was, but don't get overwhelmed with this either. I know we're covering a lot of stuff. Yes, some of this costs a good amount of money, but start with one thing at a time. And the list we're going to follow up with you. If you registered for this webinar, you'll get a list emailed to you with everything we've covered, with all the backlinks to the products on Amazon or their websites as well. So just stand by for that. And this will be on a replay. So if you're checking us out on the replay, type in #replay on the chat so we know that you're tuning in.
Yes. So I have Let's Hear on the panel from here. Anything else you guys want to add as far as the tools before I go over a quick recap?
I kind of just chimed in when I did.
Actually, I have one quick question actually for all three of us.
Sure.
All the tools that we covered today, if an agent could go purchase only one today, what would that be? Yeah.
The one that said you should get.
Yeah.
The Osmo Mobile 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
This is like the secret weapon in your arsenal right here. This is going to be the thing where when you put up the first video with this, people are going to go, holy crap, I need to buy a house from that person.
Yeah.
The last thing I kind of want to talk about, and then we'll wrap this up with a quick Q&A from anyone in the chat, is I just want to give 2 minutes on video resolution really quick, because this is something that's very contentious among a lot of content makers. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this, the new Samsung phones can shoot 8K video. That's cool. I don't have an 8K TV. Most people don't have an 8K TV. Most content now is being viewed on a phone. Those are not 8K. So while that is very appealing to shoot something in 8K, it's a bigger file size. It's going to take longer to edit. You probably don't need to mess with that. I mentioned earlier about 4K. The big thing now is, do you shoot in HD or do you shoot in 4K? And the difference between those is just one is going to be a little crisper and nicer than the other. That's a very basic explanation, but it is what it is. I am in the camp that says just shoot things in full HD right now. Most people don't have a 4K TV. Most people don't have a 4K phone. But then you'll hear from people, they'll say, well, why don't you just shoot everything in 4K? What if in several years you want those videos to be seen on a 4K monitor? And I'm like, if the house I'm shooting the video of is still on the market in 4 years, there's bigger problems than where I'm going to be filming this video. So for right now, shoot in full HD. It's your best bet. It's a smaller file size, and it's a lot easier to work with.
And it makes it a lot easier when you're uploading it to the internet too, because I mean,
yeah.
you can upload to 4K YouTube, but I mean, that takes a really long time for rendering and all that too, as well.
Yeah.
Some of the larger videos, I know, I mean, even with a solid internet connection, it's taken me over an hour just to upload one video. So if you are using these tools and recording in a high quality, you have to allocate time for even just the upload download time that it's going to require to get those files over. And some of you might just be confident enough to shoot a video and roll it without even editing it. But even taking a couple minutes worth of editing can really kind of formalize that piece of content as well. So taking a little bit of an extra step to do that is worth your time as long as you have it.
And I know, Tyler, we shot our first Tech Talk. You shot that in 4K so we could see the screen. And how did that take the copy onto your computer? It took like the whole day.
This is the basis of why I wanted to talk about that real quick, is because when you shoot things in 4K, you have such an exponentially larger file size. 4K is 4 times larger than full HD. So it's a mess. Like 4K does look beautiful. If you're filming a $2 million mansion, knock yourself out. Go for it. That's a video that you're going to want to show for years and years and years. For everything else, full HD is the way to go. That being said, I do shoot some things in 4K, case-by-case basis, but 1080p is the way to go for real estate, in my opinion.
Your thoughts on 30 frames or 60 frames?
Oh my God. See, now we're getting too technical right here.
Eric, because Eric actually said he found the best way to pull the videos off his iPhone 11 is to upload them to Vimeo from the app. So there's a ton of ways you can upload that. A lot of the time, once you've recorded your content on a phone, for example, it's going to give you, and you hit the share button, which most phones have, it's going to give you a ton of different options on how to get that video somewhere. I don't recommend texting that video to people. It'll dramatically diminish the quality. What I think a lot of us use actually is Google Drive. Similar to Eric, you can upload them straight to Vimeo or straight to YouTube, but we like to do a ton of editing on that stuff. So we upload them straight into Google Drive, download them that way, just to make it a little easier.
Vimeo is also better for higher resolution videos as well than YouTube is. There's a lot less people in Vimeo, so they can actually sustain that bandwidth a lot better than YouTube can. So if you do have a 4K video, I would suggest putting it into Vimeo instead of YouTube.
Yeah, and in these last 2 minutes that we have here, just anyone in the chat that has any video related questions, we're going to give you a couple minutes to type those in while I kind of wrap up real quick on everything that we talked about. So from the beginning, buy this. Buy this thing. Next thing. If you have the money and you're feeling creative, buy this. Well, the T7i version or something similar of a DSLR camera. Don't skip out on audio. It's very important. Remember the 2 types of audio you can do: on the cheap, on the more expensive. Sounds better, costs less. You decide. Cheap phones record good video. Expensive phones record better video but are more expensive, but you do get a lot more options. And then, let's see, Eric says Vimeo Pro has editing capabilities. Very true. It does. And that's kind of the last thing that I want to end on is editing. Editing is tough. It's a very hard thing to do. Me and Riley and Deb all do a lot of editing, spend a lot of time editing. And editing software is extremely, extremely expensive. There are cheap options, but for the most part, editing is something that is, I mean, it's a skill. It's something that you kind of do need to learn and be taught. And that's what I kind of want to pass it over to Deb after I say my thank you to everyone for enjoying this rather strange tech talk. This is the first time I've been able to lead one, so there was a lot of silliness involved. But at the end of the day, video is super important. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. I hope you have garnered something important from this, specifically this thing. It's awesome.
Tyler, do you have any 360-degree cameras to recommend to Lisa?
I've actually been looking at 360-degree cameras.
Recommend shooting in 360. Yeah.
What'd you say?
Or is she asking if we recommend shooting 360?
I'll answer both. 360 video was kind of a fad for a while. Like it's a cool little thing on Facebook that you can see. The best 360 videos that I've seen are going to be things like Matterport and those sort of videos. That being said, this is a neat little hidden trick. These can shoot 360-degree pictures. It just takes your phone and basically moves it around like in a sphere. As far as 360 cameras, you can buy ones that attach to your phone. I know Samsung, at least a couple years ago, made the Gear 360 camera. Right now, there's just not a whole lot out there as far as 360. I think GoPro or something similar makes one. A lot of the 360 cameras now are like the action cameras, the waterproof, shockproof ones. Just depends on what you're looking for.
And if you're going to do a 360, I would do it for the outside of a property that has a very cool front yard or a nice focal, like a nice view. Maybe there's a lake property and you can just see both the deck and then the lake and just 360 tour. That actually helped us with one of our properties. I took the 360 picture that we got from a Matterport and just shared that, and people loved it.
And then Rick asked the question, and thank you guys for asking questions, by the way. This is kind of low-key my favorite part of these presentations. I love being able to actually talk with you guys. How much better is DSLR video over the phone videos? That, I think, wins the award for question of the day. Better is subjective there. You can get a very crisp, nice, colorful-looking 4K video from an iPhone, but you can't change the focus as much. You can't zoom in quite as much. It's really going to be about the texture of the video is going to look better on DSLR. You can have things like the background being blurred in the video much stronger than you can on the iPhone. You're going to have those zoom possibilities. The focus is the big thing, being able to really craft your shots and make it look very meticulous. But again, iPhone's a lot better for point and shoot, and there's your video. DSLRs are better for moving and showing things in a more cinematic way. So it's really up to the preference of your audience of what they're looking for.
And you can see the difference on our end. So if you go on our Coming Soon page, if you look at the Meet the Team video, that silly one that we did, or our Christmas video, that was shot on Tyler's DSLR, and there's a lot more going on. He actually focused in on a lot of our shots.
Yeah, you get a lot more options on a DSLR camera than you do an iPhone, and it's going to look a little bit more cinematic. It's one of those things that it's hard to describe, but you'll know it when you see it. Is the best way I can say it. But I'll shut up now. I'm going to pass it back to Deb to take us out and officially end our Tech Talk 5. So thank you, everyone. Deb, take it away.
Oh my goodness. Well, I even learned a couple things. I'm probably going to have to go on Amazon and spend a little money to go get a couple more tools. So Sven just said, what's the best stabilizer for the DSLR? Do you have a quick answer to that?
Quick answer is they're very expensive. Short answer is go to probably bestbuy.com or Amazon and just type in DSLR stabilizer. I believe DJI makes one. But I personally don't have one, so I'd be kind of speaking out of turn to recommend one that I did not have. But they are on the expensive side, just warning you.
I don't have either, and I knew that they were expensive.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends then. But I really appreciate everybody joining us today. I love that Tyler took the reins on this because Tyler's just the guru. Whenever I even have questions from him on anything tech related, him and Riley are just phenomenal go-tos. So if you guys even have questions for them on tools we covered today, feel free to reach out to all three of us directly at info at comingsoonhomes.com. I also just wanted to wrap up real quick. Now, Tyler was talking about editing. So obviously there's a couple parts to getting a full video done, right? Developing the script, the whole audience that you're going to talk to and capture. Then there's that editing piece of it, which I know a lot of agents, when we start going down the deep end of editing, they just tune out because it's complicated. Just like Tyler said, it's expensive, some of these editing tools. And, you know, when you really work with a specialist like our team at Coming Soon Homes, we can really help professionalize those videos. So Tyler and Riley work with agents, teams, and brokerages across the country, just like yours, and helps them create a marketing plan. And not only helps create that plan, but actually roll it out, right? There's a second half to that, is actually making that all come into fruition and across all of your pages. So in case you're one of those agents and you're sitting on this tech talk and you're like, you know what, all this sounds great, but I got no freaking clue where to start. This is going to be the perfect place for you to start. All I want you to do is drop your email in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, you can drop your email in the chat or reach out to me directly. I'm going to drop a link in here in a second to book a strategy call with me. It's very, very easy to do this. It's no obligation. I just want to sit down and talk to you. Say, okay, what are you currently doing with marketing? What do you want to do more of? Are there any competitors of yours that you love some of the content they're pushing out? Those are the kinds of conversations I want to have with you to learn how we can give you a leg up on some of your competition from the marketing angle, from the video angle, from the email marketing angle, from the print marketing angle. We can really help compile a really strict, firm process for your marketing. And all it would take is a couple-minute call with me. That's it. So I'd love to chat with you guys a little bit further. For those of you that have questions, we have options that fit all budgets. So whether you're a small independent agent, you just want to start with a few things at once, or if you're a massive team and you're like, I need to just change the game with marketing in 2020 after this COVID-19 thing. So if you guys have questions or want to book a strategy call, I'm dropping a link right now in the chat to book a strategy call with me. I got time today, tomorrow, next week. I even work on the weekends. So depending on your availability, my team and I would love to talk to you about this even further. So again, even if it's one-by-one projects you want to get done off your list, my team will handle them. Or if you want full on-demand social media marketing assistance, my team can help you with that too. So I'd love to chat with any of you. Gail, it'll be a pleasure chatting with you. I'll be reaching out to you soon. Go ahead and tap that link to book a strategy call with me. I am on my email right now waiting for you guys to tap into me. And love to have about a 15-minute call conversation with you to chat further about your video marketing needs for 2020. So I know all of us will come together, say a big thank you. We really appreciate you taking the time. I know agents are busy, man, especially with the market shifts and everything we're dealing with right now. It's difficult to find the time to actually come on board. So if anything, I hope you saw value out of this. If you don't feel like booking a strategy call with me now, that's totally fine too. At minimum, I hope that you learned something today and can implement some of this into your current businesses and processes. So again, if you want to book a strategy call with me and my team to learn more about getting some on-demand marketing help, tap that strategy link. Otherwise, everyone that registers for this webinar will receive an email update from us with the replay and with a list of all the tools we covered today with backlinks. So you can go click through and buy any of those tools you want to. So anything else, guys, to add in before we let everybody go?
No, and these are just our recommendations. It's obviously we're not getting paid for selling these items. It's just tools that we think that you would like.
Yeah.
However, if you either work for or have a relative that does work for DJI or something, it's Tyler at comingsoonhomes.com. I'll be glad to review anything you send over. I got you.
I love it. Well, guys, actually, one last thing just before we leave you is keep in mind next Thursday. So it'll be, May 21st. Holy moly, we're almost towards the end of the month already. Mm-hmm. We are having another webinar. So we're doing a double whammy. The next webinar is going to be next Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be covering hot content ideas. So if you're looking for new video ideas, email marketing strategies, you just want to see what other top agents are doing out across the country, the stuff that's working and the stuff that's not. We're going to be showing you and uncovering and unleashing everything that my team and I have found to hopefully energize and give you some fresh ideas for your own business. So make sure to register for that for next Thursday. We appreciate your time and your consideration of our program, and we hope to see you at our next webinar, okay?
Yes, thank you everyone for joining in. If you do have questions about videos or anything, again, is it info@comingsoonhomes.com, or if you want to talk to me, I'm working from home, so go ahead, Tyler@comingsoonhomes.com, and I'll be glad to answer your video questions. Or if you just want to see some examples of more of the awesome work that we do, hit me up with an email. I'll send you some of our best clips. I love sharing my stuff. And yeah, I'm going to be on that webinar next week. So if you want more of my silliness, please join us because that'll be fun.
It's going to be fun, y'all. It's going to be fun. So just you wait for that. Hope to link up with some of you in a strategy call to chat marketing for 2020. You guys got further questions, shoot us an email at info@comingsoonhomes.com. And you guys have a phenomenal rest of your week. Make it a great one. And we're looking forward to chatting with you next Thursday. Take it easy, everybody. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
See you later.